Let me start with a simple truth. Every dream you carry within you has the power to change your life. We all have dreams, some bold, some quiet, some still hidden deep within us. But how many of us truly chase them? How many of us dare to turn that distant vision into a living reality? Chasing your dreams isn't easy. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, facing fears, and moving forward even when the path is unclear. It means listening to your heart when the world tells you to be practical. But chasing your dreams is also one of the most powerful and rewarding things you can do. Your dreams are not just about success or achievement. They are about becoming who you were meant to be. They are about using your potential, living with purpose, and doing what makes you feel alive. The journey may be long, and the road may not be straight, but the person you become along the way, that's where the real value lies. Many people give up on their dreams because they're afraid of failure, judgment, or simply not being enough. But failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Every challenge, every setback is shaping you, preparing you, and strengthening you for what lies ahead. So I ask you today, what is the dream you've buried under doubt? What is the passion you've been postponing? What is the life you know you're capable of living if only you dared to begin? Don't let fear be louder than your ambition. Don't wait for the perfect time. It may never come. Start where you are, use what you have, and trust that the first step will lead to the next. Believe in yourself. Back your dreams with action. Keep going even when no one's watching, even when it's hard, even when you're tired. Because your dream is worth it, and so are you. Now is the time, not tomorrow, not someday, now. 1. Believe in yourself. The first and most vital step in chasing your dreams is to believe in yourself. Wholeheartedly, unshakably, and consistently. Without self-belief, even the most brilliant dreams can wither in the shadow of doubt. Believing in yourself isn't about arrogance or pretending to have all the answers. It's about recognizing your potential, acknowledging your worth, and trusting that you have what it takes to rise, no matter the challenge. When you believe in yourself, you shift your entire mindset. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and instead start declaring, "I will find a way." That shift is powerful. It builds resilience. It fuels persistence. It turns obstacles into stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Self-belief gives you the courage to begin and the strength to continue when things get hard, because they will get hard. Far too often, people let their self-doubt silence their aspirations. They compare themselves to others, listen to negative voices, or replay past failures like proof that they're not enough. But the truth is, no one else has your unique combination of experiences, talents, passions, and perspective. That means no one else is equipped to bring your exact dream into the world the way you can, and that alone is reason enough to believe in yourself. Self-belief also influences how others see you. When you carry yourself with quiet confidence, people take notice. Opportunities tend to gravitate toward those who radiate inner conviction, not because they have all the answers, but because they are willing to grow, learn, and push forward. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent, even when you're unsure. Of course, believing in yourself doesn't mean you won't have doubts. Everyone does. What sets dream chasers apart is that they choose to move forward despite those doubts. They quiet the inner critic, replace negative thoughts with empowering ones, and surround themselves with people who uplift rather than diminish their ambition. They don't wait for permission to pursue their dreams, they give it to themselves. You must learn to be your own biggest supporter, especially during times when it feels like no one else sees your vision. There will be days when things don't go your way, when you feel alone, when failure knocks on your door more than once. But it's in those moments that your belief in yourself must become louder than the fear trying to stop you. It's not about having unshakable confidence all the time. It's about making a conscious choice every day to believe, even when it's hard. 2. Take the first step. Every journey, no matter how long or challenging, always begins with a single step. It's easy to get caught in the trap of overthinking, planning, or waiting for the right time, but the truth is, the perfect moment rarely comes. The stars won't always align. Conditions won't always be ideal, but your dream won't move an inch closer unless you take action. Taking the first step is often the hardest part because it requires you to move beyond fear and into motion. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It all has the power to paralyze you before you even begin. But action breaks fear's grip. The moment you take that first small, imperfect step, you begin shifting from wishing to doing. You prove to yourself that momentum is possible and that belief fuels more action. Many people spend years stuck in the planning phase, perfecting every detail in their minds, convincing themselves they're not ready yet. But dreams don't thrive on preparation alone. They grow through experience. Action reveals what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. You can read, study, and plan endlessly, but nothing replaces the clarity and growth that come from simply starting. The first step doesn't have to be big or dramatic. It could be writing a single page, making a phone call, signing up for a course, creating a sketch, or just declaring your dream out loud. Small steps are still progress, and small progress repeated over time leads to massive change. Think of it like planting a seed. You won't see the tree overnight, but without planting that seed, it will never grow at all. Taking the first step also builds trust in yourself. You begin to understand that you don't need to have the entire path mapped out. You just need to move forward. Each step will reveal the next. Each decision will guide you further. And as you take action, your confidence grows, not because you've eliminated doubt, but because you've proven that you're stronger than it. Even if you stumble early on, even if things don't go according to plan, you're still further ahead than the person who never tried. Mistakes made in motion are always more valuable than ideas left untouched on a shelf. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who dared to begin when nothing was certain. 3. Embrace failure as a teacher. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is that it's a straight upward climb. The reality is that failure is not a detour, it's part of the road. Every person who has ever chased a meaningful dream has stumbled, made mistakes, and fallen short at some point. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not the absence of failure, but their relationship with it. When you embrace failure as a teacher, you remove its power to defeat you. You stop seeing it as a sign that you're not good enough, and you start recognizing it as a valuable form of feedback. Every failed attempt, every rejection, every disappointment carries a lesson. Something to refine, something to improve, something to strengthen within you. But you can only access that wisdom if you are willing to look at failure not as a wall, but as a window. Too often, people avoid taking risks or pursuing their dreams because they fear falling short. They see failure as final, a confirmation of their worst fears, that they're not smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough. But in truth, failure is simply proof that you tried. It means you cared enough to take a chance. And that courage alone already sets you apart. Think about how we learn as children. We fall before we walk, we mispronounce before we speak clearly, we scribble before we can draw. No one expects perfection from a child learning something new. Yet as adults, we often hold ourselves to impossible standards. We forget that growth is messy, that progress includes setbacks, and that each misstep brings us closer to mastery. Failure also teaches resilience. When things don't go according to plan and you keep going anyway, you build mental and emotional strength. You begin to realize that you can survive failure, and more than that, you can use it. You can mine it for insight, apply what you've learned, and come back stronger, wiser, and more focused than before. Every setback becomes a setup for a stronger comeback. And remember, some of the most groundbreaking ideas, inventions, and achievements came after repeated failures. People like Thomas Edison, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, J.K. Rowling, and countless others were all told no, faced rejection, or stumbled again and again before they finally broke through. What they all had in common was a refusal to let failure define them. They let it refine them instead. Failure challenges your ego, yes, but it also strengthens your character. It humbles you while building your hunger. It pushes you to reevaluate, adjust, and adapt. And most importantly, it teaches you something no classroom or textbook ever could: how to grow under pressure, how to rise from disappointment, and how to fight for what matters when everything seems uncertain. 4. Stay consistent and committed. Dreams aren't built on bursts of inspiration alone. They're built on consistent action and unwavering commitment. While motivation can get you started, it's discipline and persistence that carry you through the long, often difficult journey of turning your dream into reality. Consistency isn't glamorous and it's not always exciting, but it's what separates those who succeed from those who stop when the excitement fades. Staying consistent means showing up even when it's hard, even when you're tired, and even when progress feels invisible. It means sticking with your vision through the ordinary, the repetitive, and the unrewarded days. Because real growth happens when you choose to keep going after the initial excitement wears off. It happens when you put in the work no one sees and build habits that quietly move you closer to your goal. Commitment is about more than just saying you want something. It's about making a decision to prioritize your dream over distractions, doubts, and discomfort. It's about holding yourself accountable even when no one else is watching. You can't chase your dreams casually. You have to go all in, not just when it's convenient or easy, but especially when it's not. There will be days when you feel discouraged, when things don't go as planned, and when your efforts seem to go unnoticed. But consistency is what helps you push through those moments. It keeps the fire alive. Every time you show up, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming, and over time, those small, repeated actions compound into extraordinary results. Think of consistency as the bridge between your dreams and your results. No matter how big your vision is, if you don't follow through daily, it will stay a dream. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do something every day that brings you a little closer. Progress, no matter how small, adds up. Commitment also means staying connected to your why. When you remember the reason behind your dream, what it means to you, who it could help, and how it could transform your life, you're more likely to stay focused through setbacks. That internal clarity becomes the fuel that powers your consistency. It reminds you that what you're working for is bigger than the temporary struggle you're facing now. There will always be temptations to quit, to take shortcuts, or to delay the hard work. But when you choose consistency over convenience and commitment over comfort, you begin to build trust in yourself. You prove that you're not just someone who dreams, you're someone who does the work, regardless of obstacles or distractions. 5. Surround yourself with positivity. One of the most influential factors in your journey toward chasing your dreams is the environment you place yourself in, especially the people you allow into your mental, emotional, and physical space. The energy you absorb from others can either uplift you or weigh you down. That's why it's essential to surround yourself with positivity, people, conversations, and environments that reinforce your growth, fuel your passion, and help you stay aligned with your purpose. When you're working toward a goal, especially a big, bold, or unconventional one, you're going to encounter resistance, not just from circumstances, but sometimes from the people around you. Some may not understand your vision. Some may doubt your potential. Others might unintentionally project their own fears onto you. That's why protecting your mental space is not optional, it's necessary. Surrounding yourself with positivity means choosing relationships that challenge you to rise higher, not ones that pull you back to where you started. It's about spending time with people who believe in you, even when you doubt yourself. People who celebrate your wins and encourage you when you fall short. These are the people who see your potential before it's fully realized and remind you of your strength when you momentarily forget it. Positivity isn't just about external voices. It also includes the content you consume and the inner dialogue you nurture, the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the social media you scroll through. All of it contributes to your mental environment. If your feed is filled with negativity, comparison, or chaos, it will be that much harder to stay focused on your dreams. But if you consciously choose inspiration, education, and encouragement, your mindset will reflect that energy. Creating a positive circle doesn't always mean cutting people off, but it does mean setting boundaries. It means being honest about who energizes you and who drains you. You can love people and still limit their access to your dreams if they're not supporting your vision. Your dream is fragile in its early stages. It needs to be protected, nurtured, and fed by people who want to see you win, not just in words, but in actions. And remember, positivity is also something you bring to others. Be the kind of person who uplifts, encourages, and adds value. When you show up with a mindset of possibility, resilience, and support, you naturally attract others who do the same. That mutual energy creates a ripple effect, a community of driven, like-minded individuals who push each other to keep going when things get tough. Your environment shapes your habits, your beliefs, and ultimately your results. If you constantly surround yourself with voices that tell you it's too risky, too late, or too unrealistic, you'll eventually start to believe it. But if you're surrounded by people and energy that say, keep going, it's possible, you've got this, then you'll carry that belief into every step you take. 6. Visualize your success before anything becomes real in the external world. It must first exist in the mind. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools available to anyone chasing a dream. It allows you to mentally rehearse the future you want to create, helping you build belief, sharpen focus, and align your actions with your intentions. When you visualize your success clearly and vividly, you begin to condition both your mind and body to act as though that success is already possible, already in motion. At its core, visualization is about creating a mental picture of what you want to achieve and experiencing it with emotional intensity. It's not simply wishful thinking or daydreaming. It's a mental practice grounded in neuroscience and used by high-performing individuals across every field: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders. They use it because it works. When you visualize success, whether it's crossing a finish line, giving a powerful speech, publishing your book, launching your business, or achieving a personal milestone, you're actually training 7. Never settle. One of the greatest threats to your dreams is not failure, it's comfort. It's the voice that says, this is good enough, even when your heart knows you were meant for more. To never settle means to refuse to accept less than what you're capable of achieving. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard, not for the sake of perfection, but because your vision, your purpose, and your potential deserve your full commitment. Settling often disguises itself as practicality. It shows up in the form of a safe career path, a tolerable routine, or a dream postponed indefinitely for the sake of convenience. And while there's nothing wrong with being grateful for what you have, gratitude should never be used as an excuse to stop growing. You can be grateful and still strive for more. You can appreciate the present while believing in a greater future. People often settle out of fear of rejection, fear of risk, fear of failure, or fear of judgment. They choose the familiar path even when it doesn't light them up because it feels secure. But security without fulfillment is not peace, it's quiet frustration, and over time that frustration can turn into regret. The truth is, you will never feel fully alive living a life that's only half of what you dreamed of. Refusing to settle is not about chasing endless success or material gain. It's about honoring the voice inside you that knows you're capable of something greater. It's about not silencing your ambition to fit someone else's definition of a realistic life. It's about staying in pursuit even when others stop. It's about choosing growth over stagnation, passion over predictability, and purpose over comfort. This mindset requires courage because the journey beyond settling is filled with uncertainty. There will be moments of doubt, temptation to quit, and times when you question whether all the effort is worth it. But choosing not to settle means being willing to endure discomfort in the short term for the sake of long-term meaning. It means trusting that the discomfort of growth is far more rewarding than the numbness of playing small. When you decide to never settle, you give yourself permission to fully show up in the world. You stop shrinking your vision to match your surroundings and instead begin expanding your surroundings to match your vision. You learn to chase the version of yourself that you've only caught glimpses of: bold, fearless, purpose-driven. You commit to the climb even when the summit feels far away.